Torsten Copeland grew up in Ethiopia as a missionary child. When he was little, until the time he was 13 when he moved back to the United States, he attended a private Christian school in Ethiopia. While there, he was integrated amongst a bunch of different ethnic groups. There were international kids, as well as government officials, and local wealthy children from the city. The biggest difference between his education experience and mine was that his was in a Christian environment. The culture of the school was totally different. Since it was smaller, the children had a much smaller ratio from teacher to student. And because of this, the teachers were able to get to know the students inside of class and outside of class, and therefore get to know a little bit about the unique style of each child's learning style. The children also had relationships with each other because there was only one class for each grade. So they would have class together all day, every day, instead of, whereas in my experience, my school was public, and the teachers were not as interested in getting to know us at a personal level, much as a, a group level. So my teachers would get to know the class as a whole, but they wouldn't get to know every single student. And because of this, there was less of teaching in a way that all of us students could understand. The teaching style was set for one person and one person only, and the rest of us would have to struggle along and figure out how to study based on the teaching style of the teacher. In Torsten's experience, his teachers knew how the children learned individually. So that made things very much easier for the kids. And because of this, they were much more inspired to learn. In my experience, I was so frustrated that I didn't want to learn because I felt like I couldn't do it. So from this interview and comparing his experience to mine, I realized two things. One, the most effective way to teach is to create an environment of enthusiastic learning, to make time to get to know the students one-on-one and find their style of communicating and learning. Acting upon this shows the student individually that you care about them and you want them to learn, and in turn they influence all the other students as well because everyone feels like they're cared for. The second thing I learned is that in a Christian education, you have to be able to show the love of Christ in a way that's contagious, and especially in teaching. When you're teaching, you need to be an example, and you need to show the passion that you have for the subject you're teaching. If you do this, the students who have gotten to know you will feel more passionate about learning what you've learned and applying it to their lives because they can see the joy and the passion emanating from you. So those are the two things I learned.